Hello friends, welcome to Being Codify channel. Being Codify is a team of engineers having expertise in different domains of industries are here to share our knowledge from our practical work experience that we had gone under. So without any delay, let us begin our journey on Python programming languages. Before that, if you have any doubts, clarification, suggestion, request, please share in comment. लेक्चर की शुरुआत अपन एक इंटरेस्टिंग सिचुएशन से स्टार्ट करते हैं। मानिए अगर आप एक इंटरव्यू में बैठे हैं और इंटरव्यू में जो आपका जो इंटरव्यू ले रहा है वो आपसे पूछ रहा है व्हाट इज ए पाइथन प्रोग्रामिंग लैंग्वेजेस। ऑब्वियसली द आंसर विल बी पाइथन इज एन हाई लेवल ऑब्जेक्ट ओरिएंटेड प्रोग्रामिंग लैंग्वेज। नाउ द सेकेंड क्वेश्चन ऑफ द इंटरव्यू विल बी व्हाट इज द मीनिंग ऑफ हाई लेवल एंड व्हाट इज मीनिंग ऑफ द ऑब्जेक्ट ओरिएंटेड प्रोग्रामिंग लैंग्वेज। ये क्वेश्चन इंटरव्यू जरूर पूछा जाएगा बिकॉज इफ यू सी इज ऑल्सो एन हाई लेवल ऑब्जेक्ट ओरिएंटेड प्रोग्रामिंग लैंग्वेज, जावा इज ऑल्सो एन हाई लेवल ऑब्जेक्ट ओरिएंटेड प्रोग्रामिंग लैंग्वेज, C# is also an high level object oriented programming language. Now the question is what is the feature in the Python that differentiates between C++, C#, Java, that we can confidently say that this is the features of the Python which separates it from other programming languages, and for this reason I am going under. So a high level language is any programming language that use syntax to avoid direct interaction with the hardware. So for example, each and every engineering student that the first programming language that they come across is C in their engineering academy. And the first program that you write in C is the hello world. When you write the code for the hello world, you use words such as main, hashtag, and so on. After you write the code, you compile the code and you run the program, and there will be an hello world statement in the. While we are writing the code, we do not know anything about how this code is understood by the computer. That is, we do not have any idea about how computer knows that the word print means I want to print that statement hello world in the screen. That word include means I need to include some library. Who taught computer that the print means to print, include means to include some library? Because the print and include are our human beings created jargons. Back in the early days, when the computer was created, when there is no any advancement in the software development, most of the programming was done through punch cards. As technology advanced, the programming of the computer is done in an electronical way. But now this time the computer need to be programmed using the machine code. Machine and the binary codes are the only languages that the computer can understand. That is zeros and ones. It is known to each and everyone. It is not new. As the world has advanced and the population increases, the usage of the computer and the demand for the computer increased day by day. So computer scientist has developed a way we can write instructions to the computer using our human readable and understandable words. That is a common word that we all use in our day-to-day life. So for example, print, include. So in computer we use this print, include, strings, characters, int, main, etc. Inside the computer, the hardware internally converts this print, scan, main, include words into a machine understandable binary code. So here we are giving instruction to the computer in the form of human understandable and readable words and characters. So this is the concept of the high level programming language. Although C is not a high level programming language, please understand C is not a high level programming language. C is a mid level programming language. A high level programming language do not directly interact with the computer and the device hardware. We can directly access the computer's memory using pointers. But in the case of the Python, there is no direct memory manipulation and the memory access feasibility. So therefore Python is considered a high level programming languages. Using in high level programming language, you do not interact directly with the computer and the device hardware. This is the concept of the high level programming language. If you have any doubts or any clarification in the concept of the high level programming languages, still please share in the comments. We will let you clarify all your doubts in the next video before the content of the video is started. Now, object oriented programming language is a very vast concept. It cannot be shrunk to a very short term. But I can say for now that object oriented programming language is a way of organizing your code by thinking about real world objects and behaviors. That is we are solving, that is we are writing the code, that is we need to write a code to do some functions. We are breaking that functions, that is we have some main core idea what that function is to be done. Now that main core idea will be shrunk into a bits of chunks of small ideas. These small ideas individually will have, we will code, we will write functions for these small chunks, and we will and write a way such that these small chunks of functions can interact with each other, so that a larger function, that is a main core function, can be implemented. Now, coming to the philosophy and the future of Python. The Python programming language was introduced in the year 1991. The core philosophy of the Python is to execute the program using a very simple and readable syntax without any complex without using any complex characters in our code. So for example, in front of you there are two codes. The top is the C language code. We are writing hello world program using C and Python. So I don't need to explain anymore, I think, because as you can see in C, to write the hello world program, first you need to include the hashtag include stdio.h. Now we need to create a main function int main. Now we need to write a printf statement, and in that printf statement we need to write the string and we need to put a semicolon. Now in this, if any one of the characters got missed, so for example I forgot to put that semicolon, there will be no hello world printed in the output. As a beginner programmer, this code creates a lots of confusion, because whenever we start learning programming language, the first we in our mindset, we need to understand everything. That is our mindset. When we start learning a programming language, we will be in a mindset that whatever I learn today, I will understand it fully. That is our mindset. It is not a mistake, it is a very beautiful mindset. We need to maintain that mindset, because a fact is that if you go and work in a corporate world in industry, all your boss, all your managers, your technical head, your team lead will be having a very in-depth core understanding of the each and every topic they are touched. But to reach that level of understanding needs a patience and consistent hard work. It will take time. So, as a beginner programmer, we must be consistent, we must be patient to understand the each and every syntax. But since we are all humans, we don't have such patience. The guy who is learning the programming language gets demotivated by seeing all this syntax. Now below you see the Python code. There is only single line statement, print hello world, and we will get an hello world printed. A fun fact is that in this NCRT syllabus of the computer subject, they have included Python from the standard 7th or 8th standard. I think it is from 7th standard. This simple example of the hello world gives the full justification why Python can be taught in the secondary level school. Student will get a very grip understanding about how we can write simple programming. That is the basic, the foundation will be strength on the programming language, because in India currently there is a very rising demand in freshers and engineers who are having a very tough and competent knowledge in programming. So, so this comparative example is just for explaining the philosophy for which the Python is being created. Python is not anything special or very unique language. No, it is a programming language. It has all the application. That is, I can achieve everything using Python. What I can done using C++, what I can done using Java, and also I can achieve some applications which in very easy manner, comparatively that same task being done using C++ and Java, or you can say C. but the effort that I will put by using the Python will be less. So that's the core philosophy and the theme using which for which the Python was being introduced to this world. Next, Python is interpreted and dynamically typed language. Now, the word interpreted language, it means that Python executes the code line by line, and dynamically typed language means if I want to create a variable of a certain data type, let's say of integer, I don't need to specify that data type for the variable. I don't need to specify the data type of the variable. No, I don't need to specify. So for example, I can directly say that x is equal to 5, and in the next line I can directly write x is equal to 10, and another in the next line I can directly write x is equal to 10.5. So I don't need to specify that x is an integer, x is a float. If you come in the case of the C programming language, explicitly I need to specify int x is equal to 5. If I don't write this int x and I only write x is equal to 5 in the C language, the C compiler cannot interpret what that x data type is, whether it is an integer, it is a float. There will be an error during the compilation time. In the case of the Python, there is no any such restriction. Python allows the creation of the variable without specifying the data type. We can create a variable of any data type by just creating a letter, a character, and by equating that variable to a certain value of the data type which we want that to be. So for example, I want x to be a float. I will write a 10 1.5. So internally it is understood that x is a float type data. If I want it to be a string, that is x is equal to slash b. So internally it is understood that x is a character in this case. So that's all about dynamically typed programming language. So Python is a dynamically typed programming language. Next, Python has extensive inbuilt standard library. Now, this statement, that is Python has extensive inbuilt standard library. This statement provides the justification and the proof for why Python is a dynamically typed language, why Python is very simple and readable index, why I don't need to write printf, scanf statement in Python, because Python has many standard inbuilt library. So we do not explicitly want to input any complex syntax or grammar for that program to be executed. All that complex grammars is internally combined in the library. We just need to say execute the program using a very simple syntax. So Python is an extensive standard library. So for example, one of the very interesting library is matplotlib. So this is used for the purpose of the data visualization to create plots, graphs and charts. And for AI machine learning, we have PyTorch, TensorFlow. For a 2D graphics creation, we have a library of Turtle. So all these are libraries using which we can execute any application. For example, we can create 2D graphics using Turtle. We can create and AI application using PyTorch and Tensor. Using Matplot, we can create data visualization. Next, Python integrates well with other languages and tools. That is, we can integrate Python with other other programming language, for example, C++ and Java code to make the program and code much more efficient. And the next is Python has automatic memory management. Unlike in C, there is no concept of malloc, calloc in Python. That is, Python automates memory allocation and deallocation. Python automatically decides how much memory is needed for a variable and it frees the memory that is no longer in use. Python is versatile enough to scale from small scripts to large applications. It can be used for scientific computing, AI, ML, web system administration. Python supports metaprogramming by enabling the modification of the class, objects, or functions at the runtime. Support for scripting and automation is one of the very unique features of the Python. Python provides built-in data structures like list, tuple, sets, dictionaries, etc. So these are some data structures using which we can work with large number of uh, similar data kinds. So these are some very interesting applications of Python, of which the most in demanding and the rising application is data science and machine learning in today's world, because as we can see that the number of that the number of startups in our countries are increasing, and and also the number of population is increasing. So we need and we all know that today, more than Google, many of the students are using ChatGPT. So there is a rising demand for the data scientists and machine learning scientists. So Python has a very core application in these areas. So learning Python and excelling in this area will accelerate our career exponentially. Another very interesting application of the Python is scientific computing, which is less talked. That is, Pythons are used in simulation, signal processing, to solving the differential equation, data visualization, and for solving a system of linear equation. So, as we all have suffered a lot during the corona, and for an engineering student, that is a very glorious time, because we don't have any practical exam. All our exams are online. So, honestly, as an engineering students, it was a it was a very glorious time of the corona. But all the scientists who are behind the fight to find a solution for for the coronavirus have done a research in the research and the simulation of that virus in supercomputers. You have used Python programming language. Python is also used in financial areas to create the statistical models. So since this is the first lecture of the Python, we do not delve directly into the coding part. So in the next section, we will start our Python in coding. So in the next section, in the next session, we will start write code in Python. We will learn about each and every data types, how we are going, how each and every functions in the Python are being worked with. The ultimate aim of this series is that each and every person who are listening this series must be able to build at least a 2D game using Python. But that game or that application, that project should be implemented with and only using your knowledge, without using any chat GPT, without any using Google or AI tool. So that's the only sole purpose of this session. I hope that though the first session is very theoretical, in the second session there will be very less theory, and we will run through full of codes. So see you in next session. Waiting very eagerly.